Chosen one, what unfolds on Thursday will be the regret of your entire week if you turn away from this now. Do not scroll. Do not minimize this. Do not tell yourself you will return later, because by the time later comes, the door this message was sent to open will already be moving past you. Heaven did not let this voice reach you 24 hours from now or 72 hours from now. It reached you exactly here, exactly at this hour, because Thursday is closer than your spirit has yet acknowledged. Something is being prepared in the unseen, something that will pass through the most ordinary morning of your week and rearrange what you thought you knew about your own life. There will be people who feel the weight of Thursday and have nothing to anchor it to. They will spend the day confused, raw, and undone. That will not be your story. The reason this word found you in advance is not random. It is the mercy of a father who refuses to let his chosen ones walk into a sacred day unprepared. Stay with me. Every line that follows belongs to your Thursday. Now, before another minute passes, I want you to hear something I cannot let pass without saying. The title that brought you here used the word horror. I want you to set that word down for a moment and let me reframe it for you, because the spirit behind this message is not a spirit of fear. When this voice says horror, what it actually means is gravity, significance heavy enough that the careless will sleep through it and the prepared will pivot. There is a difference, and the difference is the entire reason you are still here. The Father does not send terror to his chosen. He sends weight. He sends the kind of attention you only give to a moment you understand will not come back. So, lay your shoulders down. Whatever defense came up when you saw the title, let it rest. This is not a video designed to harvest your fear. This is a video designed to find you exactly where you are in this week of your life and walk you into Thursday awake. There is a tenderness underneath the gravity, and you will feel both before this is over. Picture yourself for a moment. Wherever you are right now, whatever you are doing, the world is breathing around you. Phones are ringing somewhere. A car is pulling into a driveway somewhere. The clock on a wall is moving forward. And in the middle of all of it, you stopped. Your hand stopped. Your eyes stopped. Your scrolling stopped. That stop is not nothing. That stop is the thread being pulled tight. Heaven uses moments exactly like this one to interrupt the autopilot of a chosen one's week. And what we are about to walk through together is the reason it interrupted yours. There are 5 things I want to name for you right now. 5 signs that have been moving through your life in the past 7 to 10 days. And the reason I am naming them is because the spirit who is doing the moving wants you to know they were not random. Each one was a knock. Each one was a whisper. Each one was a warning sent in advance for the kind of person who would be sitting in front of these words at this exact hour. The first sign is the time that keeps repeating itself in front of you. There is a number, or a clock reading, or a date pattern that you have been catching far more often than statistics should allow. It might be the same minute showing up on your phone screen across days that have nothing in common. It might be a number that follows you across receipts and license plates and addresses and small, unrelated places. You started noticing. Then you started telling yourself it was nothing. Then it kept happening anyway. That is not coincidence. That is the unseen tapping you on the shoulder. The Father uses repeated numbers the way a parent uses a familiar voice in a crowd to make sure the child looks up. You have been looking up. You did not imagine it. The second sign is the pull you have felt toward this week that has not matched any external event. Nothing on your calendar explained it. Nothing in your job, your family, your routine, or your normal conversations could account for the strange weight you have been carrying since around Sunday or Monday of this week. You kept waiting for the reason to show up, and the reason did not show up. So, you started doubting yourself. You started wondering if you were just tired, or anxious, or imagining things. You were not. You were sensing the day before it arrived. Chosen ones have always been able to sense kairos, days ahead of their place on the calendar. The body knows. The spirit knows. The naming is what was missing. We are naming it now. The third sign came in the night. It came as a dream of a doorway, or a name being whispered, or a place you have never visited, but somehow recognized. Maybe you woke up and the dream stayed with you for an hour before fading. Maybe you cannot remember the details, only the feeling, and the feeling has been quietly humming under your day ever since. The Father speaks to his chosen in sleep more often than the world admits. The dreams of this week were not random. They were preparation, delivered to a part of you that the daylight version of you has not been able to access. The night self received what the day self could not yet hold. The fourth sign is, your tolerance for trivial conversation has been collapsing. In the past few days, conversations that used to feel fine have felt unbearable. Not because you stopped loving the people in them, but because something inside you is preparing to receive something that those conversations cannot hold. You have caught yourself wanting to leave rooms for no clear reason. You have caught yourself drifting in mid-sentence. You have caught yourself almost saying something honest, then pulling it back at the last moment because there was no one in the room who could hear it. That collapse is not cold-heartedness. That collapse is recalibration. Your spirit is making space, and space requires emptying first. The fifth sign is the low alertness that has not lifted, even after rest. You have slept, and the rest did not fully arrive. You have eaten, and the heaviness did not fully leave. You have taken whatever break the week allowed, and underneath the break, an alertness has been running like a quiet engine. It is not anxiety, it is not fear. It is the body of a watchman doing what the body of a watchman has always done in the hours before the warning lands. Your nervous system has been preparing you for Thursday before your mind knew Thursday was the day. If you have noticed even 3 of these 5, that is not coincidence. That is recognition. These signs do not describe your life. They describe your assignment. They are the signature of a chosen one who has been positioned for this exact hour by a father who knows how to prepare his children for the sacred days he has set aside for them. Now I want to slow down here, because I know what some of you are doing right now, even as you listen. Some of you are testing the signs against your week, asking yourself, is that really what happened to me? Or am I just being told what to remember? That doubt is honest, and I respect it, and I want to address it before we move on. The way you can tell whether the recognition is real is not whether the description matches every detail of your week. The way you can tell is whether something inside you settled when you heard it. That settling is not random. That settling is the spirit of the chosen one, acknowledging the truth that has been quietly running underneath the surface. The mind can resist what the spirit has already accepted. We are listening to the spirit right now. The 5 signs together are not a checklist. They are a signature. The signature of a chosen one who has been quietly tracked by an attention you cannot see, and who is now being addressed directly by that attention in this hour. Some of you have been receiving this kind of preparation for months, and only this hour are you finally getting language for it. Some of you have only recognized the strange weight of this week in the past 48 hours. Either way, the timing is exact. The Father does not waste recognitions on chosen ones who are not ready to receive them. The fact that you are receiving this one now is its own confirmation. And before we go any further, before the next layer of this lands, I want you to hear something practical. The reason this voice is asking you to stay with me through this entire message is because the next stretch of time we have together contains things that cannot be split apart and still work. By the end of this, you will have 3 things in your hands that you do not have right now. You will know exactly what is unfolding through your Thursday and the spiritual reason it was placed there. You will receive a named protocol with 3 specific practices for the morning, the noon, and the nightfall of your day. Free, designed for the chosen one, walking through a kairos hour. And you will receive a sealing declaration at the close of this message that I believe will stay with you long after Thursday becomes Friday. Do not exit early. The corridor only opens fully if you walk all the way through it. Now, I want to take you somewhere. Not in your body, in your imagination. Picture a watchtower. Picture it in pre-dawn light, before the sun has risen, when the air is thin and the world below the tower is still asleep. There is a figure standing at the top. The figure has been there for hours. The figure did not choose the post. The figure was assigned to it before the day began, by a hand that knows the shape of the morning long before the morning arrives. That figure is you. You did not choose this watch post. You did not interview for it. You did not earn it through performance, and you cannot lose it through failure. It was given to you the way certain assignments have always been given by the Father, who knew which children of his could keep watch through a long night and still be standing when the sun finally rose. The kingdom you were quietly drafted into has watch posts at every threshold, and every threshold has a watchman. You are one of them. The hour you have been keeping is the hour before Thursday, and the warning that comes to the watchman first has just arrived in your hands. There is a moment in the old story I want to bring forward. Long ago, before a generation of the chosen was about to cross over from one season into the next, the leader of that generation, a man named Joshua, stood in front of the people on the eve of the crossing. The Jordan River was ahead of them. The promise was on the other side. And what Joshua said to the people that night was simple. He said, "Consecrate yourselves, because tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you." He did not say, "Next month." He did not say, "Someday." He did not say, "When you are ready." He said, "Tomorrow." And the difference between the people who crossed and the people who stumbled was not strength and not faith level and not background. The difference was preparation the night before. The watchmen of that generation heard the warning early. They consecrated. They made themselves ready. And when the morning came, they did not have to scramble. They walked. You are standing in front of your own Jordan tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon. Whenever this voice is reaching you, you are standing in front of a crossing that your spirit has been able to feel for days. The water is in front of you. The promise is on the other side. And the message you are listening to right now is the night before consecration that the Father has sent specifically to you, because he refuses to let his chosen ones cross unprepared. There is something else I want you to know about that night before the crossing. The people who consecrated themselves did not feel particularly chosen the night before. They were not standing taller. They were not wearing different clothes. They were not surrounded by visible signs of distinction. They were ordinary people doing one ordinary thing, which was paying attention to the warning. And that one act of paying attention is what separated the prepared from the stumbled. I am telling you this because I do not want you to think the watchman of this hour has to feel like a watchman. The watchman often feels exactly the way you feel right now. Tired, slightly uncertain, aware of something you cannot quite name, carrying questions you have not had time to ask out loud. The watchman in heaven's kingdom has never been the loudest voice or the most obvious figure. The watchman has always been the one who stayed at the post when nobody was checking, And that staying is what made the warning possible. You have been staying. You may not have called it that. The Father has. The kingdom you were quietly drafted into does not announce itself with banners. It moves through hours like this one, through messages like this one, through the unremarkable persistence of chosen ones who keep showing up to their own lives, even when their own lives are quiet. The recognition you are receiving right now is not the beginning of your enlistment. It is the acknowledgement of a service that has already been ongoing. You did not just become a chosen one, you have been one. The hour is just naming what was already there. There is a question some of you are about to ask. It is the question every chosen one asks when a warning lands in advance, and the question is this: why me? Why is this voice in front of me? Why was this message routed through whatever hand placed it on whatever screen I happened to be looking at? And why did it find me at this hour and not someone else's? The answer is older than the week you are in. The answer goes back to a Father who has been positioning you, slowly and quietly, for a Thursday like this one, for longer than you remember. Every season of waiting you walked through, every sleepless stretch where you wondered if anyone above the ceiling was listening, every moment you almost broke and did not, every time you got back up when no one was watching, all of it has been forming the kind of chosen one who can stand inside a kairos hour and not flinch. The forming is what made you findable. The forming is why the warning could be trusted to reach the right place. There is something I want to share with you. I am not going to give you names because the chosen ones in this story would prefer privacy. I am going to give you what matters. There was a woman, an older woman, in a part of the world that does not need to be named. She had been praying for the same answer for 4 years. 4 years. She told me this herself, later. 4 years of asking, of releasing, of letting hope rise and then fall, of getting through her ordinary days, while a quiet question kept burning under everything. She had stopped expecting. She had not stopped praying, but she had stopped expecting, which is a different thing. Some of you know the difference between those two states intimately. 3 nights before her own Thursday came, she could not sleep. She did not know why. She did not know it was a Thursday that was approaching. She did not have a calendar in her head telling her something specific was coming. All she knew was that her body would not rest and her mind would not slow, and a strange alertness had moved into her chest and refused to leave. She got up at 3 in the morning. She paced. She tried to read. She tried to pray. She tried to go back to sleep. None of it worked. So she sat in a chair near her window and stayed awake until the light came up. And when the light came up, she was tired. But something else had also arrived. A settledness. A waiting that felt patient instead of anxious. She did not understand it. The next 2 nights were the same. Sleepless, alert, settled in a way she could not explain. She had no language for what was moving through her, and she had stopped trying to find one. On the morning of the 4th day, which turned out to be a Thursday, her phone rang. It was a phone call she had been waiting 4 years to receive. The exact answer to the exact prayer she had almost given up on. The voice on the other end was someone she had no relationship with, someone she had not been chasing, someone who had been led to her through a chain of small events neither of them could fully reconstruct afterwards. The phone call lasted 23 minutes. By the end of it, the 4-year question was resolved. She told me later, when we spoke about it, something I want you to hear directly. She said, "The sleeplessness was not the storm. The sleeplessness was the wind that announced the storm." She said, "If I had explained away the alertness, if I had taken something to push it down, if I had told myself it was just stress and tried to overpower it back into routine, I think I would have missed the recognition. I would have been too foggy to receive what came through that call. Instead, I let the watchman in me stand at the window, and the watchman saw the morning before it arrived. I am telling you that story because what was true for her in those 3 nights is what is true for you in this hour. Your body has been doing watchman work without your permission. Your spirit has been keeping a post you did not consciously sign up for. The reason this voice is in your hands now is because the Father refuses to let his chosen do the work of the watchman without ever being told what they were watching for. He is telling you, the signs have been the wind. The Thursday is the storm, and the message you are listening to right now is the consecration before the crossing. You are not paranoid. You are not making it up. You are not over-spiritualizing your week. You are receiving the kind of attention from heaven that has been given to chosen ones in every generation. And the only difference between the ones who walked through their Thursday awake and the ones who slept through theirs is that the awake ones recognized the warning when it arrived. You are recognizing it right now. That is the entire reason this hour exists. Let me say one more thing about that woman, because the part of her story that always lands hardest is not the phone call. It is something she said about the 4 years of waiting that came before the Thursday. She said, "When I look back, I can see now that the 4 years were not silence. The 4 years were construction. The Father was building the kind of person who could receive that phone call without breaking under what it meant. Because the phone call did not just answer the prayer. The phone call shifted the entire shape of the rest of her life. And if she had received that shift 3 years earlier, before the construction was finished, she would not have been able to carry it. The years she had grieved as wasted were the years that made her able to walk through the door when the door finally opened. I am telling you this because I know some of you are sitting on years that look the same to you right now. Years that look like nothing happened. Years that look like the Father was somewhere else. Years that quietly broke something in your trust without you fully admitting it had been broken. Hear me. Those years were not nothing. Those years were the legs being built. The legs you are about to use to walk into Thursday were built quietly in the years you thought were empty. Empty is the word the surface uses. Formation is the word the unseen uses. Now we are coming to something I have to be careful with, because what comes next is the part of this message that, if you let it land, will rearrange your entire posture toward the rest of your day. So I am going to slow down. I am going to ask you to stay particularly attentive for the next stretch, because before this hour ends, I am going to show you the exact spiritual mechanism behind what is unfolding on Thursday, and I am going to show it to you in language that is not vague, not religious abstraction, not generic encouragement. I am going to name it. But before I can name it, there is a recognition you have to make first. You cannot skip the recognition and still receive the naming. So, I am going to walk you to the threshold of it now, and I am going to ask you to step over with me. Here is the recognition. Most of what you have been through in the past 2 to 3 years was not punishment, not delay, not failure, not the Father forgetting your name. Most of what you have been through was preparation for the kind of hour you are sitting in right now. The seasons that felt like wasted ground, the relationships that ended without a clean explanation, the doors that closed without warning, the long stretches where you wondered if your faith was even still there underneath the routine. All of it was building the version of you who could be in front of these words at this hour and actually receive them. If you had received this message 3 years ago, you would have heard it differently. Some of you would have rushed at it. Some of you would have inflated it. Some of you would have used it to manipulate yourself or someone around you into a decision you were not ready to make. The father knew. He waited. He let the formation finish enough that when this hour finally came, you would be the kind of chosen one who could hold a warning in your hands without breaking it and walk through a sacred day without performing it. I want you to sit with that for a second. Whatever you have been carrying about the past few years, whatever you have been quietly grieving, whatever has felt like loss without explanation, none of it has been wasted. The watchman who walks through this Thursday awake will only be able to walk through it because the formation built the legs. You have legs. You have been building them without knowing it. They are about to carry you across. There is a particular kind of pain that comes from realizing that the seasons you grieved as loss were actually seasons of preparation. It is the kind of pain that has tenderness underneath it because the recognition reframes the suffering, but the suffering itself was real. I do not want to skip that. The Father is not asking you to pretend the years were easy. He is asking you to see, at this hour, that nothing in those years has been wasted on you. There is a difference between minimizing pain and reframing it, and the chosen ones who walk through their Thursdays awake are the ones who have learned to do the second without ever doing the first. So, if some part of you, even now, is mourning what the past few years cost you, hold that mourning gently while you also receive the recognition. Both can be true at the same time. The grief is honest. The formation was real. The legs are built. The crossing is in front of you. Heaven does not ask its chosen to choose between honoring their pain and walking forward into what their pain prepared them for. The two things are the same act, performed in two different motions. This is the part where the wider answer starts to come into focus, but I am going to hold the rest of it back for just a few minutes longer, because there is one more layer of recognition that needs to be in place before the full mechanism makes sense. I do not want to rush you past it. What I will tell you now is this. Thursday is not random. Thursday is not the next day on the calendar. Thursday, in the architecture of your life, is a specific kind of day that the Father has been building toward, the way a skilled hand builds toward a single, decisive note in a piece of music. The reason that day specifically, and not some other day this week, will become clear when we go deeper. The reason you specifically were warned, and not your neighbor or your co-worker or someone with louder spiritual language than you, will also become clear. And the reason this message is the way it is, dated, urgent, paternal, gentle underneath the gravity, will resolve itself by the time we walk through the next stretch together. So stay with me. The corridor is opening. We are not at the door yet, but we are walking toward it, and every step from here on is going to feel slightly different than the step before it. Because the closer we get to the actual unfolding of Thursday, the more your spirit is going to start recognizing what it has been quietly waiting for since this week began. And before the next layer of this lands, I want to say one thing to you, the kind of thing I do not say often, because I do not want it to feel like a request. There are thousands of chosen ones walking through their own kairos days right now, and many of them are looking for a place where the language of these hours is taken seriously. If words like the ones in this message keep finding you in seasons exactly like this one, stay close to this space. There is a community of chosen ones gathering quietly here, and the doors are open if your spirit feels the alignment. That is all I am going to say about it. The signal is enough. Now, let me show you where we are about to go. We are leaving the pre-dawn now. The hour of recognition is closing, and a different hour is opening. The first light of Thursday is beginning to touch the horizon of this message, and what was being prepared in the unseen is about to step forward into the seen. The watchman has stood at the post. The signs have been named. The reason for the early warning is now clear. What comes next is the morning. And in the morning, the diagnosis arrives. You are about to hear 3 things I have not yet given you. You are about to hear the exact behavioral pattern that, if it is in your life right now, is the reason your spirit has been bracing for this Thursday in particular. It is a pattern almost every chosen one carries by this point in their journey, and it is a pattern that will quietly work against you if it is not named. We are going to name it. You are about to hear the emotional signature that this particular kairos day has been leaving in chosen ones for the past 72 hours. Some of you will recognize yourself the moment I describe it. Some of you will recognize someone close to you. Either way, the recognition will explain things you have been unable to explain to yourself. And you are about to hear the spiritual mechanism, the actual reason Thursday is the day. There is a word for this kind of day that comes from a language older than the calendar most of us live by. When I show you that word, the entire frame of what you are walking into will shift. The world thinks of time in one shape. Heaven thinks of time in a different shape. The shape heaven thinks in has a name, and the name is the reason this Thursday is what it is. I am also going to do something I rarely do mid-message. I am going to pause the teaching at one specific moment because there is a word the Father has been wanting to say directly to you, and it is going to come through this voice. Not as performance, not as theatrical declaration, but as a settled handing over of a sentence I believe is meant for the chosen one who is sitting wherever you are sitting right now. When that moment arrives, you will know it. I am not going to overbuild it. I am just going to let it land. So, let your shoulders drop a little. Let the room around you be quiet, even if it is not actually quiet. Let the next words come in. The pre-dawn is closing. Thursday is moving toward its first light. And what comes through this voice next is the morning of the day you have been quietly preparing for since Sunday, since Monday, since the first night you woke up at the wrong hour and could not explain why. The watchman is about to stop being the watchman because the watchman's job ends the moment the warning has been received. You have received it. Now we walk into the morning. The morning is rising now. Whatever your local clock says, whatever the actual light in the room around you happens to be, the morning of this message has just arrived, and the morning is the hour when the diagnosis begins to surface. The watchman has stepped down from the post. The signs have been named. What comes next is not warning anymore. What comes next is naming. And in the breath between the watchman's hour and what comes next, there is a transparency I have to honor before we go any further into the diagnosis. Truth honors truth. So, let what is real be named before another breath passes between us, because some of you have already started feeling the pull, and the pull deserves to know what it is reaching toward. What you have been carrying in your body for the past 7 nights is not abstract. It has a frequency, a measurable one. And what has a frequency can be supported with precision by tools that have been quietly placed in front of chosen ones in seasons exactly like this one. The kind of restoration a chosen one needs in a kairos season is not a single act. It is a 2-wave process. One wave wakes the part of you that fell asleep around the age of 7. The other wave opens the channel through which what you have been waiting for can finally arrive. The waves work in sequence. They do not work in reverse. The first wave has a name. It is called the Genius Song. It came through the work of a researcher named Dr. Lake, drawing on neuroscience that traces back to Princeton, MIT, and Harvard, alongside several other leading research institutions. The second wave is called the Wealth Signal. It came through Dr. Newton, a neuroscientist who broke from the establishment to release research that came out of Stanford and other respected institutions. 2 doctors, 2 discoveries, 1 restoration sequence. They are designed to work in order. The genius song wakes the child within, the part of you that knew before the world taught you to forget. The wealth signal opens the channel through which what was promised can finally arrive. Become the child first, then receive what the child was promised. If your spirit has already started pulling toward this, the path is in the description and the pinned comment below this video. Do not rush, stay for the full message. The context still matters more than I can explain, but if your body has already been telling you, the doors are open and they are below. And in the same breath that named those 2 paths, the morning's deeper truth begins to rise. The names alone are not the gift. The gift is in what comes next. In the diagnosis your body has been waiting to receive. So let me bring you back into the heart of this hour. The morning is here. The watchman has come down. The diagnosis is now opening, layer by layer, in front of you. There were 3 things I told you would land in this stretch of our walk together, and I have not forgotten the promise. The first was the behavioral pattern. That is the reason your spirit has been bracing for this Thursday in particular. The second was the emotional signature this kairos day has been leaving in chosen ones for the past 72 hours. The third was the spiritual mechanism, the actual reason. Thursday is the day. We are going to walk through all 3. None of them are abstract. All 3 of them are happening in you right now, and naming them is the first half of the diagnosis. I want to start with the behavioral pattern because it is the layer most chosen ones never name for themselves, and it is also the layer that, if it goes unnamed, will quietly work against your Thursday before the day has even fully arrived. Hear me on this. The pattern I am about to name is not an accusation, it is not a failing, it is not a sign that your faith is weak or that your spiritual sensitivity is somehow less than it should be. It is a wound shared by almost every chosen one walking through their late 30s, their 40s, their 50s, sometimes earlier. And the only way to walk into Thursday clean is to bring the wound out into the open and let it be seen. The pattern is this. You have been told before. You have been told too many times before, in fact, that your breakthrough was near, that a door was about to open, that a season was about to shift, that something big was on the way. You have been told it from voices like mine. You have been told it from voices much louder than mine. You have been told it in moments where you genuinely believed it and then watched the days roll past without the breakthrough materializing in any way you could point to. So a defense was built, not by you intentionally, by your nervous system, automatically, the way nervous systems protect chosen ones from the cumulative weight of premature hope. The defense looks like this. You hear a message. Your spirit responds for the first 3 minutes. Then, a quiet voice underneath your spirit says, "Do not get your hopes up again." And the spirit goes still. The body keeps listening. The mind goes flat. By the end of the message, you cannot quite tell what you actually received and what you defended against. This pattern has a name. It is called false alarm fatigue, and it is the single most common condition in chosen ones who have walked with the Father for more than a few years. It is not unbelief. Unbelief is a different shape. Unbelief refuses the message at the door. False alarm fatigue lets the message in, but quietly drains it of weight before it can do its work inside you. The chosen one who carries this pattern can sit through 50 sermons in a row and walk out of all 50 unchanged, not because the sermons were empty, but because the protective layer kept the words from making contact with the part of the spirit that was supposed to receive them. I am naming this for you in the morning of this message, because if I do not name it, the rest of what I share with you today will hit the same protective layer and slide off. I refuse to let that happen on a kairos day. The Father refuses to let it happen too, which is exactly why this Thursday came with a date attached, and not just a vague seasonal promise. Hear me carefully here. The reason the warning for this day was sent with a specific day named is precisely because false alarm fatigue cannot defend itself against specificity. A vague promise, a season is shifting, a door is opening, can be quietly absorbed into the protective layer and forgotten by morning. A dated word lands differently. A dated word cannot be filed away in the general drawer of someday. A dated word makes you turn your face toward an actual hour. The chosen ones who turn their faces toward an actual hour are the ones who get past the defense long enough for the truth to actually land. So, if some part of you has been listening to me for the past stretch of time, with a quiet, protective hum running underneath, asking whether this is just another voice telling you something is coming when nothing actually comes, I want to honor that hum. It is doing its job. It has kept you safe in hours that needed safety. But this is not one of those hours. This is the hour where the hum gets to quiet down, and the part of you it has been protecting gets to come back out into the daylight. I want to give you something to do with that protective layer. Not later, right now, inside your mind, with no one watching. I want you to picture a small lamp standing on a desk. The lamp has been on for a long time. It is the lamp that has been making sure you do not get fooled. It has done its job faithfully, longer than it should have had to. Now, with as much gentleness as you can muster, I want you to reach inside and turn that lamp down to its lowest setting. Not off, just lower, just enough that the spirit underneath the lamp can come out from the corner of the room and stand in the middle of it again. That dimming is the first move of the diagnosis. The protective layer is allowed to rest. The chosen one underneath the protective layer is allowed to be present. Some of you just felt that shift happen, even as I described it. Some of you felt the spirit underneath the lamp lift its head for the first time in months. That is recognition. That is the part of you this Thursday is actually for finally being allowed to come into the room. The Father has been waiting for it. He has not been waiting for the protective layer to leave. He has been waiting for the spirit underneath the layer to feel safe enough to come out. There is one more thing about false alarm fatigue I want to name, because it is the part most chosen ones miss. The wound is not from being told too many times that breakthrough was coming. The wound is from being told too many times without ever being given the actual preparation for the breakthrough when it arrived. The promises kept rolling in. The preparation never did. So, the chosen ones learned to stop trusting promises because the promises kept handing them open seasons with no map for how to walk them. This message is different. By the end of this hour, you will have a map, a specific named protocol. 3 practices for 3 phases of your Thursday. Not vague spiritual encouragement. Actual things to do at actual moments with actual purpose. The protective layer can stand down because the preparation is being given alongside the promise. The two were always supposed to come together. The Father has finally found a chosen one who would stay long enough to receive both. The second layer of the diagnosis is the emotional signature. This is the layer your body has been carrying without permission for the past 72 hours. The layer most chosen ones blame themselves for, because they have not had language for what was actually happening. Let me give you the language now, because once you have it, the self-blame collapses and the recognition takes its place. The emotional signature of a kairos day in approach is oscillation, not anxiety, not depression, not a single mood that you can name and explain. Oscillation. A rising in your chest at 1 hour that becomes a drop in your chest 2 hours later for no external reason. A surge of strange hope at 3 in the afternoon that turns into a hollowed-out heaviness by 7 in the evening, then returns as a quiet certainty at midnight, then dissolves again into restlessness by dawn. If you have been on that ride this week, you have been doing what every chosen one does in the 72 hours before a kairos day. Your spirit knows, your body knows, your mind has not been told yet. And the gap between what the spirit knows and what the mind has been told shows up as oscillation. I want you to hear me again because this matters. This is not anxiety. Anxiety has a different texture. Anxiety contracts. The kind of pre-kairos oscillation a chosen one experiences expands and contracts in a rhythm, and the rhythm is the giveaway. Your spirit is breathing in advance of the day. The expansion is the in-breath, the part that is already reaching for the morning. The contraction is the out-breath, the part that is letting go of what cannot cross with you. Both are sacred. Neither needs to be fixed. They need to be named. There is a moment in the old story I want to bring forward, because the chosen ones of every generation have always been able to find themselves in the same archetype, and one archetype carries this layer of the diagnosis better than any other. The archetype is Joseph. Specifically, Joseph the night before he was called out of prison. Most people who tell that story focus on the morning of the call. The morning Pharaoh sent for him, the morning he interpreted the dream, the morning he walked from the dungeon to the throne in a single afternoon. But the night before that morning is where the diagnosis lives. The night before, Joseph did not know the call was coming. He had been in the prison for years by that point. He had learned to live there. He had learned to interpret other people's dreams, but the door to his own dream had stayed shut for so long that he had stopped pressing against it. And yet, what we know about chosen ones, and what we know about kairos days, tells us almost certainly that the night before that morning, Joseph oscillated. Hope rising and falling in the dark of the dungeon, his body breathing in advance of a freedom he could not yet imagine, his spirit knowing what his mind had not been told yet. The oscillation was not a failure of faith. The oscillation was the body of a chosen one, preparing to receive what the morning was about to deliver. You are in your own version of that night. Whatever your circumstances are, whatever your week has actually contained, the 72 hours behind you have carried Joseph's pre-promotion signature. I want you to hold that with reverence for a moment, because you have been doing the work of a chosen one without ever being told that was what you were doing. Now, hear me through what comes next. The recognition lands deeper when the rhythm of it matches the rhythm of what you have been feeling. If you have felt strangely awake at hours when sleep should have come easily, that is not random. If you have felt unaccountably tender, almost on the edge of tears, in moments that did not seem to call for it, that is not coincidence. If you have felt the pull towards solitude growing inside you, even when you are someone who normally loves company, that is not delay. If you have felt your prayers go quieter, not because you have stopped praying, but because words have started to feel inadequate to what is actually moving in you, that is not distance. If you have felt a kind of waiting that has no object, an attention without a clear direction, an alertness without a stated cause, that is not malfunction. That is the body of a chosen one rehearsing for tomorrow. That is Joseph's last night. That is the in-breath your spirit is taking in advance of the morning that is about to deliver what your spirit has been waiting for. None of it is failure. All of it is the diagnostic signature of someone walking into a kairos hour exactly the way they were designed to walk into it. Release the self-blame about this week before we go any further. If you have been judging yourself for the oscillation, for the strangeness, for the inability to settle, set the judgment down. The oscillation was not weakness. The oscillation was you doing the work in the way the work has always been done. There is something else, something deeper than the behavioral pattern and the emotional signature combined, that I have been holding back until this exact moment in our walk together. It is the third layer of the diagnosis, and it is the layer that names the actual spiritual mechanism behind why Thursday is the day. Not Tuesday, not Saturday, not next week. Thursday. When I show you this layer, the entire frame of what you are walking into is going to shift. The world thinks of time in one shape. Heaven thinks of time in a different shape. The shape heaven thinks in has a name. It is older than the calendar most of us live by, older than most of the languages still being spoken today. And once you know it, you cannot unknow it. The reason this Thursday lives inside that one word. Before I give it to you, I want you to settle for a moment, because there is also a sentence. I believe the Father has been wanting to speak directly to you, and it is going to come through this voice when the third layer lands, not as performance, not as theatrical declaration, just as a quiet handing over of words that I believe were meant for the chosen one sitting wherever you are sitting right now. So, stay with me. The mechanism is in the next breath, and the sentence is just past it. The word is kairos. It is a Greek word, and it is one of the two words for time that the language used. The other word is chronos. Chronos is the time the world lives by. It is sequential time, the time on your phone, the time on your watch, the time of meetings and deadlines and routines. Chronos counts forward. Chronos does not care about meaning. Chronos rolls past every day in equal increments and treats them all the same. Kairos is different. Kairos is the appointed time. It is not measured by the clock. It is measured by significance. Kairos is the moment a season tilts, the moment a door swings open, the moment heaven steps into the seen world and rearranges what was sleeping into something awake. Chronos is duration. Kairos is decision. Chronos is sequence. Kairos is choice. In the architecture of every chosen one's life, Kairos days are placed at specific intervals by a father who knows when his children need to be moved from one chapter into the next. Thursday in your week is a kairos day. That is the mechanism. That is the reason the warning came with a date. That is the reason your body has been bracing without your permission, not because anything terrible is about to happen, because something significant is. The two are not the same. The chosen ones who confuse them spend their kairos days bracing for impact when they are actually being prepared to receive a gift. The chosen ones who recognize the difference walk in a wake. We are walking in a wake. There is a moment in the old story that I want to bring forward to make this concrete, because the difference between Chronos and Kairos is the difference between the people who crossed the Jordan and the people who watched it from the wrong side. Long ago, on the eve of one of the biggest crossings in the history of the chosen, a man named Joshua stood in front of the people and said one sentence, "I want you to hear cleanly." He said, "Consecrate yourselves, because tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you." Read that again in your spirit. Tomorrow, not someday, not when the season is right, not when you have prayed enough, or fasted enough, or proven yourself enough. Tomorrow. He gave them a kairos word, a word with a specific day attached, because the Father knew that the difference between the chosen ones who walked into the morning awake and the chosen ones who stumbled was preparation the night before. The Chronos people just kept living their schedule. The Kairos people consecrated. They stopped, made themselves ready, set the night aside as preparation, and walked into the morning expecting amazing things, because amazing things had been promised by name. You are standing in front of your own Jordan. Whatever the actual events of your Thursday turn out to be, the spiritual mechanism behind the day is the same mechanism that operated in front of that river thousands of years ago. The Father is doing what the Father has always done. He is sending the warning the night before to the chosen ones who can hear it, so they can consecrate themselves, so they can walk into the morning ready, so they can receive what the kairos day was placed in their lives to deliver. That is why Thursday is the day. Not because the calendar arbitrarily landed there. Because the Father, who arranges kairos days the way a master composer arranges decisive notes in a long symphony, placed this Thursday at this exact point in your timeline, and then sent the warning early enough that you could be ready when the morning of it broke. The diagnosis is now complete, the behavioral pattern named, the emotional signature named, the spiritual mechanism named. There is one more thing left to do before this hour closes, and that is the part I told you to wait for. The part where the Father's voice asks to come through this voice for a few sentences before we move on. I do not claim this as God's exact speech. I do not claim that the words I am about to speak are dictation from the throne. What I claim is that I hear the Spirit saying these words to you, and I am going to say them on His behalf, the way a messenger has always said the words placed on his heart for the one being addressed. If something in you receives them as truth, that is between you and the one you receive them from. I am only the carrier. So, I will say it the way I hear it. I hear the Spirit saying, "My child, the day you are walking into was placed in your life by my hand before you understood what days were. I have been arranging it from before. You knew the meaning of arrangement, and I am telling you it now, in this hour, because I refuse to let you walk into a day I prepared for you without knowing it was prepared. I have seen the oscillation in your chest this week. I have seen the sleep that did not come, and the alertness that would not lift, and the moments you wondered if anyone was paying attention to what you have been carrying. I have been paying attention. I have always been paying attention. The hours you assumed were unwitnessed were the hours I was building you for this one. I have heard every prayer you stopped believing I heard. I have kept every one of them. I have been holding them quietly while I built the legs that could carry you across what the prayers were asking for. The years you thought were silence were not silence. They were construction. I have been forming you the whole time, and the formation is now finished enough that I can hand you the day it was for. I will not ask you to be more than you are. I will not ask you to perform. I will not ask you to manufacture faith you do not have. I am asking you, gently, to walk into Thursday awake, to let the day be what it is, to let me deliver what I have been preparing to deliver, to trust that the chosen one I have been forming is the chosen one I will use, and that the formation is enough. The carelessness of the world will sleep through tomorrow. The chosen ones who heard the warning will not. You heard the warning. That is not nothing. That is the entire shape of who you have been, finally being recognized. Walk into the morning. I will be there before you are. I will be in every hour of the day you do not yet see. I have already gone ahead. So receive it with me, in your spirit, where I have always met you. I am not bringing horror into your week. I am bringing significance. There is a difference, and you, of all my children, were always the one who could feel it. Stay with that for a moment. Do not move. Let what just came through settle into the part of you it was actually spoken to. If something just shifted in your spirit, if some part of you received those words as the words you have been quietly waiting to hear, I want you to do something small but specific before this hour goes any further. In the comments below this video, type the words, "I receive," just those two. Not as performance, not as a ritual you have to perform. As an act of agreement between your spirit and what was just placed in front of it. The words "I receive," sealed underneath this message by your own hand before the next layer lands. Some of you will type it now, some of you will wait until later, some of you will not type it at all because the act of acknowledging in public still feels too much. All of those are honored. The Father is not keeping score on the comment count. He is watching the alignment that just happened in your interior, and the alignment is what he counted before any keystroke was ever made. The typing is just the outer expression of the inner act. Do it if your spirit confirms. Leave it if your spirit confirms differently. Both are received. What I want to do now is bring this morning of the message to a close so that we can step into what comes next, which is the deeper layer underneath the diagnosis itself. The diagnosis told you what is happening in you. What comes next will tell you why your spirit has been built this way, why the kairos day landed in this part of your timeline and not another, why the formation took the shape it did, and what to do with all of it in the actual hours of your Thursday when the morning has fully arrived. Let what was just spoken settle into your bones. The next truth comes from the same place, the place that has been speaking through this hour all along, the place that has known your name since before there was a calendar to mark Thursdays on. The morning is about to give way to midday. Midday is when the root cause of all of this finally surfaces. We have named the symptom. Now we go beneath it. The morning is closing now, and the midday is opening, and what midday delivers is different from what the morning delivered. Morning gave you the names. Midday gives you the reason underneath the names. The diagnosis told you the shape of what is happening in you. The root cause tells you why your life has been built in such a way that the shape was even possible. Stay close. The next stretch is the part of this hour that almost never gets spoken out loud. There is a question that some of you have been quietly carrying since the diagnosis landed. The question is this: if the spiritual mechanism behind Thursday is real, and the warning is real, and the formation is real, then why does my body have to be in this much disarray to receive it? Why does the chosen one's nervous system have to be braced and oscillating and awake at the wrong hours just to be ready for a day that is supposed to be a gift? Why does receiving have to feel like surviving? The answer to that question is the root cause, and the root cause has two layers. I want to walk you into both layers slowly, because the layers are the reason every chosen one in your generation has been carrying the symptoms you have been carrying. They are not abstract. They are measurable. They have names that come out of neuroscience, and they have names that come out of scripture, and the names from both sources end up describing the same thing from two different angles. We are going to look at it from both. Layer 1. There is a frequency in the human brain called gamma. Gamma is the frequency of insight, of curiosity, of the kind of knowing that arrives without being chased. It is the frequency of the child who has not yet been taught to second-guess what she sees. The chosen ones in every generation were born with gamma operating at full power. It was not earned. It was given. It was the equipment the Father installed in his children before he sent them into the world. Then something happened. Something almost every chosen one in this generation has gone through, and almost no one has been told the name of. Around the age of 7, gamma starts to dim. It does not dim because of a single event. It dims because the architecture of the modern world, the schools, the routines, the way attention gets shaped, the way curiosity gets quietly punished and replaced with performance, All of it works together to suppress the frequency the child was born running on. Researchers have a name for this. They call it the decline effect. By the time most chosen ones reach their 20s, the gamma frequency that ran their childhood has been quieted to a fraction of what it was. That is why the phrase about becoming like a little child has lived inside scripture for 2,000 years, and no one has been able to fully explain why it carries the weight it carries. The teacher who said it was describing a frequency. The child mind is not a metaphor. It is a measurable state of the brain, and the chosen ones who have lost access to it have lost access to the part of themselves that was supposed to make receiving possible. This is layer 1 of the root cause. The child mind in you was dimmed, not destroyed, dimmed. And because she has been dimmed for years, sometimes decades, the part of you that was supposed to recognize a kairos day when it arrived has been operating at far less than the wattage she was originally given. Layer 2. There is another frequency the brain runs on, called beta. Beta is the frequency of striving, of vigilance, of the constant, low-grade scanning your nervous system does in the modern world to make sure nothing falls apart. Beta is not bad. Beta has its place. Beta is what gets you through traffic without crashing, what helps you meet a deadline, what runs the surface layer of attention you need to function. The problem is not beta itself. The problem is that for most chosen ones in the modern world, beta has stopped being a tool and started being a permanent setting. Researchers have a name for this too. They call it stress signal hyperactivity. Your nervous system has been stuck in beta dominance for so long that the channel which was supposed to be available for receiving, the channel that operates in alpha frequency, has been functionally closed off. You cannot receive what is coming because the receiving channel has been blocked by the survival channel that has been running for years without a real off switch. This is layer 2. Beta has hijacked the receiving channel. Even when something significant arrives, even when a kairos day breaks open, the channel through which you would normally take it in has been clogged by years of stress signal running on top of itself. Now, hear me, because this is where the two layers come together into a single picture. These are not two separate problems. They are two halves of one condition, and the condition is the reason your body has been bracing this week without permission. The child mind is asleep, so even when the gift of a kairos day arrives, the part of you that was supposed to recognize it is foggy, and the receiving channel is blocked. So even if the recognition happened, the gift could not flow through to where it was supposed to land. Both layers have to be addressed, not one. Both, and not in any order, but in a specific sequence, because the chosen one who tries to open the receiving channel before the child mind has woken up will end up receiving with an adult mind that cannot hold what is being received. The child has to wake first. Then the channel opens. The waking is what makes the receiving possible. This is the reason every generation of chosen ones has needed exactly the kind of preparation a kairos day demands. It is the reason the warning came in advance. The warning was not just to tell you, Thursday is the day. The warning was to give you enough time to begin the restoration before the morning of the day fully arrives. I want you to slow down with me here, because I know what is happening underneath this teaching, even if you are not naming it yet. Some of you, listening to me describe these two layers, are starting to feel something specific in your spirit, a kind of grief. The grief of recognizing that you have been operating with both halves of the condition for years and never had language for it. That grief is honest. Let it be there. The Father is not asking you to bypass the grief. He is asking you to use it. Grief like this one is not weight. Grief like this one is a sign that the recognition is landing in the right place. But before I show you what comes next, I have to do something I almost never do mid-message. I have to interrupt the teaching for a moment and tell you something specific, because if I do not name it now, the structure of the next stretch will not make sense. There is a tool. There are actually two tools. The Father has placed them in front of chosen ones in seasons exactly like this one, and I will give you both of them in detail before this hour ends. But before I can put them in your hands, before I can show you the protocol that is going to walk you through the actual hours of Thursday, there is one more piece of recognition that needs to be in place. The piece is the reason the Father bothered to send a dated warning at all. Stay with me. The piece is in the next breath. The reason a dated warning was sent, and not just a general one, is because the kairos day in your timeline is not a one-time event. It is the opening of a corridor. Thursday is the door. The hours that follow Thursday are the corridor. And what the Father is preparing you to walk through is not a single moment of breakthrough that lands and dissolves. It is a season change that begins on the day and continues unfolding for weeks and months afterward, depending on how prepared the chosen one was when the door opened. That is why the protocol I am about to give you is not for Thursday alone. The 3 practices you are about to receive, the practices that will get you through the actual hours of the day, are designed to be the threshold itself. They are how you cross. But the season the threshold opens into is what the deeper tools are for. The named protocol gets you through the door. The deeper restoration is what keeps the corridor open behind you, so that what was placed at the other side of Thursday actually has time to flow into the rest of your life. I am giving this to you now because I do not want you walking into the rest of this message confused about what is for the day and what is for the season. The protocol is the day. The audios I named earlier are the season. You can absolutely walk through Thursday with only the protocol. Many chosen ones will. The protocol is the gift of this video, and it is yours, free, designed for the chosen one walking through a kairos hour, regardless of any other decision you make. But for the chosen ones whose spirit has already been pulling toward the deeper restoration, the audios are the channels staying open after the day closes. Hold that frame. We are about to step into the part of the hour where the rationality of the chosen one comes back online and consolidates everything we have walked through together. I am going to slow down now. The next 90 to 120 seconds of this message are deliberately different from everything else in this hour. I am stepping out of the cinematic teaching for a moment and into plain English, because what I am about to do is the part of this message that almost no one in this kind of work bothers to do, and it is the part that most distinguishes the chosen ones who walk through their kairos days, awake from the chosen ones who get swept up in feeling and then forget what they actually learned. I am going to consolidate what we have covered. 3 sentences: the why, the what, and the who. Plain English. No theatrics. Stay with me. The why, the reason your body has been bracing this week, the reason the diagnosis landed the way it did, the reason Thursday is the day, is because there is a kairos day placed in your timeline that activates a season change. And the reason the season change requires preparation is because 2 layers of restoration have to be addressed for the chosen one to actually receive what the day delivers. The child mind, dimmed by what researchers call the decline effect, has to be woken. The receiving channel, blocked by what researchers call stress signal hyperactivity, has to be opened. Both layers, not one, both. The what? The practical takeaway is twofold. First, in the next stretch of our walk together, I am going to give you a named protocol with 3 specific practices mapped to 3 phases of your Thursday that will walk you through the actual hours of the day. Free, designed for the chosen one. The first practice is the pre-dawn naming. The second is the noon pivot. The third is the nightfall witness. You will receive all three with full instructions. Second, for the chosen ones whose spirit is pulling toward the longer-term restoration, 2 audios exist that address the 2 layers in sequence. The first wakes the child mind. The second opens the receiving channel. The order matters. Child first. Reception second. Become the child. Then receive what was promised. The who. You are the chosen one this is for, not someone else, not a generic spiritual seeker. You are the kind of chosen one who can hear a kairos warning and not collapse, who can hold the diagnosis without weaponizing it against yourself, who can walk into Thursday with the formation that was built in the seasons you thought were wasted. The chosen ones who hear kairos warnings and walk through their days awake are the ones who carry the network of light forward into the next chapter of the world. You are one of them. The hour is naming what was already there. That is the consolidation, the why, the what, the who. If you have been listening with the protective layer dimmed down, the consolidation just landed in the part of you that is supposed to receive it. If you have been listening with the layer still up, the consolidation is sitting on the surface, waiting for permission to come deeper. Either way, the work has been done. The chosen one, underneath all of this, has heard what needed to be heard. Now we step into the next layer. Before I deliver the protocol, before the practical hours of Thursday get the map they need, there is something about you specifically that I have to name, because the protocol will not work the way it was designed to work if the identity underneath it is not in alignment first. The protocol is for a specific kind of chosen one, and the chosen one is the one I am about to describe. You were not born ordinary. I do not say that as flattery. I say it as a description of equipment. The chosen ones of your generation were born running on what could be called child of light heritage. Both frequencies, gamma and alpha, were operating at full power in you when you arrived in this world. Curiosity at full strength. Receptivity at full strength. The capacity to be fascinated by ordinary things and the capacity to receive without striving for what was being given. Both alive in you by design. The world you were born into went to work on both. Slowly, quietly, the gamma got dimmed by the decline effect, and the alpha got hijacked by the stress signal. By the time you reached adulthood, you had been operating with both halves of your original equipment running at far less than the wattage they were given. The losses did not arrive as a single event. They arrived as a long erosion, and because they arrived as erosion, you never had a single moment in which you could identify what had been lost. You just knew, somewhere underneath the surface, that something had been brighter once. Now, hear what I am saying carefully. The reason this is so important to name before the protocol arrives is that the chosen one who walks into Thursday without understanding her dual heritage will walk into Thursday trying to perform the day, instead of receiving the day. The protocol is built on the assumption that the receiver is the child of light, not the adult who has been managing the surface. If you walk in as the manager, the protocol will feel like work. If you walk in as the child, the protocol will feel like remembrance. There are signs of dual deficiency I want to name briefly, so the recognition has full weight before we move on. If you have ever experienced the strange feeling of being calm and open, and yet when the moment came that you could have actually received something, you found yourself unable to take it in, that is, the receiving channel closed. That is the alpha side of your heritage waiting to be restored. If you have ever experienced a moment of opportunity arriving exactly when you had been hoping for it, only to find that the part of you that should have been able to sustain the opportunity ran out of energy within days or weeks. That is, the child mind dimmed. That is the gamma side of your heritage, waiting to be woken. If you have lived for years with the strange sense of being almost there but not quite arriving, of standing inside reach of peace and abundance and connection, but never fully landing inside any of it, that is dual deficiency. Both halves of your heritage have been operating at fractional power for so long that the near arrival has become familiar. Familiarity is not arrival. Familiarity is the symptom. If you have a quiet sense, sometimes lifting up unbidden, that becoming like a child once felt natural to you, that there was a season of your life when curiosity and receptivity worked together inside you, the way they were originally designed to work, and that the season ended at some point you cannot precisely identify. That is, the biblical resonance the teacher was pointing at 2,000 years ago. He was not telling you to perform childlikeness. He was telling you that the kingdom belongs to those who can return to the dual heritage they were born with. Hold the recognition. Do not rush past it. The Father has been forming the kind of chosen one who can hear all of this without flinching, and you are receiving it now because the formation finally finished enough that the receiving was possible. I am going to give you the names of the two tools again, because the structure of this part of the message requires the names to be present a second time, and because the chosen ones, whose spirit is pulling toward the deeper restoration, deserve to have what their spirit is reaching for placed clearly in front of them. After this, I will give you the rest of the protocol and walk you into the implementation hours. Stay close. The first tool is called the Genius Song. It is a digital audio recording, 7 minutes long. You listen with headphones, with your eyes closed, sitting upright. It uses a technology called brain entrainment, which works through binaural delivery, meaning a slightly different frequency in each ear, calibrated to gradually guide the brain back into the gamma frequency that was dimmed by the decline effect. It was created by Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist with 34 years of research experience. The neuroscience itself draws on work done at MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and several other leading research institutions. 18,366 chosen ones have already used it. The refund rate is under 4%. Over 96% continue using it, which is unusually high for any tool of this kind. The Genius Song works on the first layer of restoration. It wakes the child within. Curiosity returns. Openness returns. The capacity to recognize what is in front of you without immediately analyzing it returns. The kind of insight that used to arrive without being chased begins to arrive again. Dr. Lake's work calls it gamma reactivation. The teacher 2,000 years ago called it becoming like little children. Same restoration. Two different vocabularies pointing at the same recovery. When you secure the Genius Song, Dr. Lake may also offer one additional audio designed to protect the child mind once it has been restored, so that the world does not dim it again. If your spirit confirms that, take it. If it does not, the original is enough. Do not overthink it. Now there is something I have to tell you, because if I do not, the dual heritage piece I just laid out will not fully resolve. Hear me carefully. The Genius Song does extraordinary work on the gamma side of your heritage. The child within you wakes. The dimming starts to reverse. Curiosity comes back online. But here is the part most people who use only the first tool eventually run into. The child wakes up, and the child can see, and the child can recognize, and the child can be fascinated again by what was always in front of her. But the child cannot reach. The receiving channel is still closed. The alpha side of the heritage has been hijacked by stress signal hyperactivity for so long that even the awakened child mind cannot fully reach for what is hers. She is awake, but she is awake inside a room with a closed window. She can see what is on the other side of the glass. She cannot bring it in. This is what the second tool is for. The second tool addresses the second layer. The second tool is called the wealth signal. It was created by Dr. Stephen Newton, a former Stanford neuroscientist. His research draws on work from Stanford, Boston University, and other respected research institutions. He came at the same restoration question from a completely different angle. He was not a colleague of Dr. Lake. He did not work in the same lab. The two of them arrived at convergent conclusions through independent research traditions, and that convergence is the strongest signal a chosen one could ask for. When two doctors, working on opposite sides of the country, in completely separate disciplines, converge on the same restoration sequence, it is no longer a theory, it is a finding. The wealth signal is a 5-minute digital audio. It also works through headphones. It includes what Dr. Newton calls the 9-word wealth script, a phrase that traces back to a teaching that is approximately 3,300 years old, originally from a wisdom tradition older than most of the spiritual languages still being spoken today. The audio guides the brain from beta dominance, the stress signal frequency, into alpha, the receiving frequency. The 9-word script bypasses what Dr. Newton calls neural rigidity in a part of the brain called the thalamus. The result is the same channel that has been blocked for years, finally opening. 19,583 chosen ones have already used it. Over 95% continue using it. When you secure the wealth signal, Dr. Newton may also offer one additional audio amplification designed to help what was opened arrive a little more steadily. If your spirit says yes to it, take it. If it does not speak to you, leave it. The original is enough. The two tools were not designed to be used in any random order. They were designed to be used in sequence. Genius song first, wealth signal second, wave 1 before wave 2, become the child. Then, receive what the child was promised. The teacher who said it 2,000 years ago was describing a frequency sequence. The chosen ones, who become like little children, are the ones who receive the kingdom. The order is the entire mechanism. I want to honor a question that some of you are asking right now, because I would ask the same question if I were sitting where you are sitting. The question is, why 2 products? Why not 1? Is this not just a way to charge twice for a single thing? The honest answer is this. The 2 layers of the condition are not the same layer. They run on different frequencies, and each frequency requires a tool calibrated specifically to it. There is no audio in existence that is broad enough to do both jobs effectively at once. Dr. Lake's research targets gamma. Dr. Newton's research targets alpha. The tools are precision instruments, and the precision is what makes them work. A tool that tried to do both at once would be a tool that did neither well. If your budget can only accommodate one of them right now, start with the genius song. The child mind has to wake before the channel can be used anyway. Begin there. The wealth signal will be available when your spirit is ready for the second wave. There is no pressure to do both at the same time. The Father is not asking you to spend more than your situation allows. He is asking you to begin where beginning is possible. I also want to honor the chosen ones who have heard 100 versions of this kind of offer before and feel the protective layer rising even as I describe these tools. Hear me. I am not asking you to override the protective layer. I am asking you to dim it just enough to consider what is being said. The chosen ones who walked through their kairos days awake throughout history were the ones who could recognize the difference between a manipulation and a precision instrument. The way you tell the difference is whether the thing being offered is calibrated to the actual condition you are carrying. These two tools are calibrated. They have measurable effects on the frequencies they target. That is the difference between them and the things you have tried before. Most of the things you have tried before were generic. These are specific. Now I want to bring two stories forward briefly, because the consolidation works better when it is grounded in two chosen ones who have walked this path, both names withheld. Only the patterns matter. The first story is a woman, 43 years old, a teacher in a part of the country where teaching has been her entire identity for over a decade. She had been pouring herself into the development of others for so long that her own brain had quietly settled into what she described as running at 30% capacity. Ideas had stopped arriving. Decisions she had been deferring for over a year were piling up in the corners of her life. She started using the genius song. 3 weeks in, the ideas started arriving again. A decision she had been deferring for nearly a year was made in a single morning, easily, almost without effort. She told me later that what changed was not her circumstances. What changed was the wattage at which her own mind had started running again. The child within her had woken up. The teacher she had always been was finally back in the room. The second story is a woman, 52 years old, who runs a small business while caring for an aging parent. She had been waking up every single morning with a tightness in her chest before she even opened her eyes. The tightness was background, financial worry, the kind of worry that does not respond to logic, the kind that runs underneath every decision, regardless of what the bank account actually says. She had tried meditation for 6 months. The tightness had not lifted. She started using the wealth signal. By the 3rd week, the morning tightness had begun to ease. A decision about her business that she had been postponing for 8 months, raising her prices, was made naturally one morning without any of the dread that had been blocking it. The clients accepted the increase without complaint. Cash flow rose by 22% that month. She told me later, in her own words, that the audio did not give her more confidence. It removed the panic that had been making her underprice herself for years. The receiving channel had opened. What had always been hers became reachable. Two chosen ones, two different layers of the same condition, two different tools, calibrated to two different frequencies, both restorations real, both measurable, both available to the chosen one who is sitting where you are sitting right now, listening to me describe what their stories looked like on the other side of the door. There are 3 paths in front of you, and I want to lay them out clearly so that the chosen one in you, not the protective layer, can recognize which one your spirit is reaching toward. The first path is restoration only, the genius song by itself. This is for the chosen one who feels that the child within her has gone fully to sleep, and what she needs first is to be reminded who she was before the world dimmed her. This is an honored path. It is not less than the others. It is the appropriate beginning for a specific kind of chosen one, and if your spirit is pulling in this direction, do not let anyone make you feel that you are settling for less by starting here. The waking of the child is its own complete restoration. The second path is reception only, the wealth signal by itself. This is a rarer path. It is for the chosen one who already has a strong, active spiritual practice, whose child mind is somehow still alive after everything, but whose receiving channel has been closed for so long that even the awake child within her cannot reach for what is hers. If you know yourself well enough to recognize this is your situation, This is the path your spirit is pulling toward. Most chosen ones do not start here, but for the few who do, it is the precise tool. The third path is complete restoration. Both audios, used in sequence. Genius song to wake the child, wealth signal to open the channel. This is the path most chosen ones eventually recognize they need, because most of us are carrying both layers of the condition, not one. Restoration and reception compound each other. They do not simply add up. The child who wakes inside a closed channel body will only get to see what is on the other side of the glass. The channel that opens inside an asleep child mind will only let in what cannot be fully recognized. Both layers, addressed in sequence, is what walks the chosen one across the entire threshold. Most of the chosen ones who recognize themselves in this teaching choose the third path, not because of pressure, because of the way the architecture of the condition actually works. The child mind woken without the receiving channel opened is half restoration. Like a child who wakes up but is not allowed to receive what was promised. That image, when it lands, is what most chosen ones recognize themselves in. There is a guarantee on both tools, 90 days, no conditions, no time limit. If you decide either tool was not for you, your money is returned, no questions asked. You keep all of the bonus materials that come alongside the audios, regardless. The complete confidence comes from both Dr. Lake and Dr. Newton, who chose accessibility over upselling and who chose risk-free trial over high-pressure commitment. The guarantee is not a sales tactic. It is the position of two researchers who are confident enough in their work to offer it without conditions. I want to say one thing about urgency, because I do not want to manipulate you, and I do not want this to feel rushed. The urgency around this hour is not artificial. The urgency is in the architecture of what is happening inside you right now. Every additional day in which the decline effect continues to dim, the gamma frequency in you is another day of compounding loss. Every additional day in which the stress signal continues to hijack the alpha receiving channel is another day in which the chosen one in you keeps operating at fractional power. The urgency is not a deadline. The urgency is the cost of waiting itself. There is also a quieter urgency, the one that lives in identity rather than in time. The future version of you, the one who walks through the kairos days that come after this Thursday with both halves of her heritage restored, is looking back at this moment in your timeline as the hinge. The hinge is not the audios. The hinge is the recognition. The audios are how the recognition becomes restoration. The recognition is what is happening now. I have to mention something else, because protecting you is part of what this voice was sent for. There are counterfeit versions of both tools floating around. Audio recordings that use the same names, but do not contain the actual brain entrainment technology, the actual frequency calibration, the actual research lineage. The counterfeit versions sound similar on the surface. They are not the same. The only way to receive the real genius song and the real wealth signal, with the full bonus materials, with the 90-day guarantee, with the actual technology that does the actual work, is through the doors below this video, the description, the pinned comment. Those are the only verified paths. Do not search for either name on Amazon, on Spotify, on any other platform. The real tools live where I am pointing. So here we are, 3 paths, 3 doors, all 3 honored. I want you to take a slow breath now, not because I am asking you to perform anything, because we have just covered a lot of ground in a single stretch of time, and the body of a chosen one needs a moment of pause before it makes a decision. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hand rest somewhere. Let the room around you be quiet. even if it is not actually quiet. This is not a decision about whether to spend money. The frame of the decision is not financial. The frame of the decision is which path is mine. That is the only question worth asking right now. Restoration, reception, or complete restoration. 3 paths, all 3 honored. The chosen one in you, the one who recognizes which one her spirit is reaching for, is the one making this decision, not the protective layer, not the part of you that has been told 100 versions of this kind of thing before, not the part that is calculating whether it makes sense. Your spirit knows which one. The 3 doors are below this video. They are in the description. They are in the pinned comment. Whichever path your spirit is pulling toward, that is the door to walk through. Step into the one that calls you. The one that calls you is the one that was placed for you. If your spirit is not pulling toward any of them right now, that is also honored. The protocol I am about to give you in the next stretch of this hour will walk you through Thursday, regardless. The audios are for the chosen ones whose spirit is reaching for the longer restoration. The protocol is for everyone. Both are the Father's gifts. Neither is required to receive the other. And the tools have been named. What remains is the day itself, the actual hours of your Thursday, and what they ask of you. The morning has finished delivering what the morning was supposed to deliver. The midday has finished surfacing the root cause and putting the deeper restoration in front of those whose spirit was reaching for it. What comes next is the afternoon. The afternoon is when the protocol arrives in full. The 3 practices, the pre-dawn naming, the noon pivot, the nightfall witness, each one named, each one mapped to a specific phase of your Thursday, each one designed for the chosen one, walking through a kairos hour. The threshold is opening. We walk into the afternoon together. The afternoon is here. The midday has closed. The morning gave you the diagnosis. The midday gave you the root cause and the tools that address it. The afternoon is where the practical hours of Thursday finally get the map they have been waiting for. What I am about to give you is named because every chosen one who has walked through a kairos day awake has needed it in one form or another across every generation. I call it the Threshold Hour Protocol. 3 practices, 3 phases of your Thursday. Each practice carries its own purpose, and the 3 together carry you across the day in the way the day was designed to be carried. Hear me on this before we begin. The protocol is mapped to 3 phases of your Thursday, but the phases are not literal clock times. They are inner positions you can occupy at any actual hour today. If you are listening to this on the eve of Thursday, the first practice is for the moment your alarm rings tomorrow morning. If you are already inside Thursday morning, the first practice is for now. If you are listening late in the day, the protocol can begin where you are, in whichever phase you are currently in, and the rest of the day still belongs to it. Do not let the clock decide whether the protocol is available to you. The protocol is available the moment you decide to begin. You are not failing if you can only do one of the 3. Even one of them, done with full attention, will mark the day. The Father is not measuring completion, he is measuring presence. The chosen ones who walk through their kairos days awake are the ones who occupy whichever phase they are in fully, without rushing past it to perform the next one. Before noon, you will name the day. Before sunset, you will pivot inside it. Before midnight, you will witness what was given. That is the entire structure. 3 movements, 1 day. The first practice is called the pre-dawn naming. The pre-dawn naming is exactly what it sounds like. At the first quiet moment of your Thursday morning, before the day's machinery has fully started turning, you name the day out loud to the Father. Not in your head, out loud. The voice has to come from your own throat and reach your own ears. That detail is not arbitrary. It is the entire mechanism of the practice. The words do not have to be elaborate. The words can be as simple as this. Father, I receive this Thursday as the day you marked. I am not surprised by it. I am here. 3 sentences. That is enough. You can use those exact words, or you can use your own, but the 3 movements have to be present: the receiving, the not being, surprised, the being here. Those 3 together form the consecration. The chosen ones who walked across the Jordan thousands of years ago consecrated themselves the night before by setting the morning aside as sacred. The pre-dawn naming is the modern version of that consecration. It is the act of telling your own spirit that today is not a chronos day. Today is kairos. Today has been marked. Today you are aware. I want to explain why this matters more than it might initially seem to, because some chosen ones will hear this practice and dismiss it as too simple to do anything significant. Hear me. Naming a day shifts the chosen one from passive recipient to active participant. The cosmic counsel I described earlier in this hour, the one where your name was already being spoken 3 nights ago, has been moving toward your Thursday without your participation up until this point. Your participation begins with the naming. The moment you say the words out loud, your voice enters the counsel. Heaven has been speaking about your Thursday all week. The pre-dawn naming is the chosen one's voice finally entering the conversation. When you do the practice, here is what to notice without trying to manufacture it. After you say the 3 sentences, there will be a moment of stillness, maybe 1 second long, maybe 10. Do not rush past the stillness. The stillness is what the naming is actually for. The naming opens the channel. The stillness is the channel being acknowledged. Stay in it for as long as it stays in you. When you are ready to move into the rest of your day, you will know. There is one more piece of the pre-dawn naming I want to give you, because the protocol does not work the same without it. After the stillness, before you stand up or pick up your phone or move into the routine of the morning, ask one question silently. Father, what do I need to walk into this day already knowing? That question is not asked to receive a specific answer. The question is asked to position the chosen one in the receptive posture for whatever the day delivers. Sometimes a sentence will rise up in response. Sometimes an image. Sometimes a name of a person you have not thought of in months. Sometimes nothing at all. Only the deeper settledness of having asked. All 4 responses are valid. The question itself is the practice, not the answer. Some of you are going to do this practice tomorrow morning, or this morning if Thursday is already underway, and you are going to feel something specific shift in the hour after you do it. The shift will not necessarily be dramatic. It will be a quiet realignment of how the rest of the day is positioned in front of you. Do not try to amplify the shift. Let it be exactly the size it is. The size is correct. The pre-dawn naming is the first movement. The chosen one who has named her day is no longer being acted upon by the day. She is participating in it. That difference, alone, is the entire reason the practice exists. The second practice is called the noon pivot. The noon pivot is for somewhere in the middle of the day, not necessarily at 12 o'clock, but somewhere in the inner middle of your Thursday, where the morning's energy has been used up and the afternoon's machinery is starting to apply its own pressure. For most chosen ones, this lands sometime between 11 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. For some, it might be earlier. For others, later. The clock does not decide. The interior decides. Here is the practice. You take 60 seconds, not 5 minutes, not a formal prayer time. 60 seconds. You step out of the flow of whatever you are doing and you ask one question internally: Father, what is moving through this day that I am not yet noticing? That is it. That is the entire pivot. 60 seconds, one question, and then back into the flow. I want to explain why this practice carries the weight it carries, because the noon pivot is the most overlooked of the three movements, and it is also the one that most decisively separates the chosen ones who walk through their kairos days, awake from the chosen ones who do not. Kairos days unfold non-linearly. The world wants you to think that significant days look significant. They do not. Significant days look ordinary on the surface and do their work underneath. The chosen one who only checks at the end of the day, the one who looks back at evening and asks, "Did anything actually happen?" is asking the wrong question at the wrong time. By evening, half of what was offered during the day has already been missed because no one looked for it while it was happening. The noon pivot positions the chosen one to notice what is moving while it is moving. The question, what is moving through this day that I am not yet noticing, is the one that reopens the receiving channel for a single sustained breath in the middle of the busy hours. It is a recalibration. The hours before the pivot were lived on Chronos time. The hours after the pivot can be lived on Kairos time. The pivot itself is the door between the two. There is something specific I want you to notice during the pivot. Notice the conversation that lasts longer than expected. Notice the message that arrives unbidden, especially from someone you have not heard from in a while. Notice the question someone asks that pierces the routine. Notice the moment that pauses you, even if you cannot immediately explain why. Notice the small detail that seems out of place, the small detail that seems to fit too perfectly. These are the breadcrumbs of a kairos day. The chosen one who is paying attention to the breadcrumbs is the one who recognizes the door of the day when it opens. The chosen one who is not paying attention walks past the door because the door looked exactly like a wall. I want to give you a wisdom figure here because the noon pivot has a precedent in the old story that grounds the practice in something older than this hour. The story is Joseph in Pharaoh's court. Most people remember Joseph because of the dream interpretation that lifted him from the prison to the throne in a single afternoon. What gets less attention is the fact that the morning hour of that day was the one that made the rest of it possible. Joseph had spent years in the prison. He had received messages. He had interpreted other people's dreams. He had stayed close to his own internal posture, even when the external circumstances offered no reason to. When the call came on that morning, the only reason he could respond the way he responded was that his interior had been pivoting daily for years. He had been asking the question of what was moving through the day, in every prison hour, until the asking became automatic. By the time the kairos morning arrived, the noon pivot was already a habit. The kairos was just the day. The habit was finally waiting for. You do not have years to build the habit. You have today. But today is enough, because the noon pivot only has to happen once on a kairos day to do its work. The Father is not asking you to perform years of internal preparation in one afternoon. He is asking you to step out of the flow once, today, and ask the question. When you do the noon pivot, do not be surprised if the question itself surfaces an answer you were not consciously looking for. Sometimes, the answer is a recognition about a person in your life who needs your attention. Sometimes the answer is an awareness of a decision you have been deferring. Sometimes the answer is simply a quiet certainty about something you have been doubting. The question opens whatever was closed. Trust whatever rises in response to the opening. There is a specific instruction I want to give you for the noon pivot, because the practice is most easily missed in the wrong location. Do not do the noon pivot while you are in motion. Do not do it while driving. Do not do it while in conversation with someone else. Do not do it while you are mid-task. Step out, even briefly, even just by putting down what is in your hand for 60 seconds. The pivot requires a stillness short enough to fit into any day, but it does require a stillness. 60 seconds, that is all. The third practice is called the nightfall witness. The nightfall witness happens at the end of your Thursday, before sleep, in the last quiet stretch of the day. It is the practice that closes the day's receiving, and it is the one that retroactively recognizes everything the day actually delivered. Hear me on this carefully, because the witness is the most powerful of the three movements, and it is also the most unfamiliar to most chosen ones. The first two practices position you to receive. The witness completes the receiving by acknowledging what was actually given. The practice is this. Before you go to sleep on Thursday night, you take a few minutes, however many you need, and you review the day out loud. Out loud is non-negotiable, the same way the pre-dawn naming requires the voice to come from your own throat and reach your own ears. The witness is spoken testimony, not silent reflection. The voice closes the loop that the silent reflection cannot close. You ask 3 questions, in this order. What did I notice today? What did I feel today? What was placed in front of me today? Each question gets answered out loud, in whatever words come, without editing for elegance, without performing for an imagined audience, without trying to make the answer sound spiritual. Plain speech, honest content, the chosen one telling the truth about her own day to her own ears, in the presence of the Father who has been with her through every hour of it. I want to explain why the witness matters more than the other 2 practices combined, because the explanation is the part that almost no chosen one has ever been told. Kairos days deposit gifts that are only fully visible in retrospect. The gift might have arrived at 11 in the morning, but it might not be recognizable as a gift until 9 in the evening. By evening, your conscious mind has processed enough of the day to see the patterns that were invisible while the day was happening in real time. The witness is the practice that makes those patterns visible to the spirit, not just the mind. There is a phenomenon I want to name, because it has happened to almost every chosen one who has walked through a kairos day without knowing it was kairos. The phenomenon is this. You go to bed thinking nothing significant happened. You wake up the next morning, and over the course of the next 48 hours, the events of the previous day start to rearrange themselves in your awareness. A small conversation reveals itself to have been a turning point. A short message you almost ignored reveals itself to have been the answer to a prayer you stopped believing was being heard. A decision that seemed minor reveals itself to have been the hinge that the rest of your year is about to swing on. The chosen one who skipped the witness loses 30 to 50% of what was actually delivered. Not because the delivery did not happen, the delivery happened. The chosen one just did not have the practice that would have allowed the recognition to land while the recognition was still possible to integrate. By the time the recognition arrived, 2 or 3 days later, the integration window had closed. The gift was kept, but the chosen one had to relearn what the gift was, often the hard way, often through circumstances that should not have been necessary. The witness keeps the integration window open. The chosen one who reviews her Thursday out loud before sleep is the chosen one who hands the day's deposits to her own future self, intact, recognized, ready to be used in the days that come after. There is a simple way to begin the witness, if you have never done a practice like it before. You sit somewhere quiet. You light a candle if you have one, or do not, the candle is not required. You take 3 breaths, and you start with whatever surfaces first. Maybe what surfaces first is a small annoyance. Begin there. The witness does not require profound openings. The witness requires honesty. As you speak the first thing, the second thing will rise. As you speak the second thing, the third thing will rise. The day will reassemble itself in your voice if you give it the space to. When you finish the 3 questions, end with one sentence. Father, I receive what this day delivered, and I trust you with what I did not yet recognize. That sentence closes the witness. The day is sealed. The integration begins. Some of you will do the witness for the first time on Thursday night and feel a kind of settling you have not felt in months. The settling is not your imagination. The settling is the spirit recognizing that, finally, after a long stretch in which the days have been pouring through you without being held, a day has been held. The day was kept. The day will not be lost to the rush of the next day's beginning. The chosen one who keeps her days is the chosen one who builds something with them. 3 practices, 3 phases, 1 day. Before noon, you name. Before sunset, you pivot. Before midnight, you witness. That is the threshold hour protocol. I want to pause here for a moment because we have just covered a lot of ground in this stretch, and your spirit needs space to actually receive it. The protocol is not abstract. It is real. It is something you can do tomorrow, or today, or this afternoon, without any additional resources, without any equipment, without any skills you do not already have. It belongs to you the moment you decide to use it. Let me pause the teaching for a moment and just acknowledge something with you. You have been listening to me for the better part of an hour now, maybe more. Whatever else has been happening in your day, your attention has been here. Phones have probably gone off. Notifications have probably tried to pull you away. There have probably been small moments where you almost reached for something else and chose not to. That choice, repeated over and over throughout this message, is itself a form of preparation. The chosen ones who walk through their kairos days awake are the ones who can stay present long enough to receive what is being placed in front of them. You have been staying. I want to honor that without making a big deal of it. The fact that you are still here, through everything you could be doing instead, tells me something the Father has known about you for a long time. He has known that you were the kind of chosen one who could keep watch. He has known that you were the kind who could stay at the post even when no one was checking. He has known that you were one of his quiet ones, the ones who do not announce themselves, but always show up when the hour requires it. This hour requires it. You are here. So before the next practice lands, before the rest of the protocol fully rounds out, just breathe once, slowly. Nothing to receive in this breath, nothing to release, just breath. Let the room be still around you, even if it is not actually still. The next part is coming, and it is good, and there is no rush. Now there is one more layer of the protocol that I have to give you, because the 3 practices alone are the structure. But the structure has an interior, and the interior is the part that makes the practices actually work. The interior is one principle that runs through all 3 movements, and the principle is this. You are not doing the protocol to make Thursday happen. You are doing the protocol to make yourself present for Thursday. There is a difference, and the difference is the entire mechanism of the day. Most chosen ones, when they hear about a practice mapped to a significant day, immediately translate the practice into something they have to do correctly to earn the day's outcome. The practice becomes performance. The performance becomes pressure. The pressure becomes the very thing that closes the receiving channel the practice was designed to open. The chosen one ends up working harder to receive than she would have worked to perform, and the harder she works, the less she receives. I am asking you to walk into the protocol the other way around. The day is going to happen regardless of how perfectly you do the practices. The Father has already arranged Thursday. Your job is not to construct the day. Your job is to be present for the day that has already been constructed. The practices are presence tools. They are not production tools. When you do the pre-dawn naming, you are not summoning the day. The day is already there. You are aligning your awareness with what already is. When you do the noon pivot, you are not changing the course of the day. The course is already in motion. You are stepping out of the Chronos current long enough to perceive what the kairos current has been carrying all along. When you do the nightfall witness, you are not adding meaning to the day. The meaning is already there. You are giving the meaning a place to be acknowledged in your own voice, in your own ears, in your own spirit. The protocol does not produce Thursday. The protocol receives Thursday. That distinction, held inside the chosen one as she walks through the day, is what allows the day to become what it was placed in her timeline to become. Some of you are going to walk through tomorrow with the protocol and notice almost immediately that the pressure of having to make the day matter is gone. The pressure is gone because the work has been redistributed correctly. The Father is doing the day. You are receiving the day. The two of you are not doing the same job, and the chosen one who tries to do both jobs at once is the one who collapses under the weight of the wrong half. There is also something I want to give you for what comes after Thursday, because the protocol is for the day, but the corridor opens into a season, and the season has its own work. The chosen ones whose spirit has already been pulling toward the deeper restoration tools, the audios I named earlier, are going to find that the protocol becomes more potent over time when the longer-term restoration is also underway. The genius song, which wakes the child within, makes the noon pivot more sensitive to what is actually moving through the day. The wealth signal, which opens the receiving channel, makes the nightfall witness more capable of integrating what was actually delivered. The protocol is the threshold. The audios are how the corridor stays open behind you. You do not need both for Thursday. You can walk through the day with only the protocol and receive what the day delivers. But for the chosen ones who feel the season ahead of them stretching out further than the day, the deeper tools are how the season keeps working in your favor long after the kairos hour has passed. The 3 doors are still where I told you they were. Description, pinned comment. The path your spirit is reaching for is the one to walk through. Now, I want to come back to the practical hours of your Thursday for one more sweep, because there are a few details I have not yet given you, and the details matter for the chosen ones who like specifics. If you are listening to this on a Wednesday night, the pre-dawn naming is for the moment your alarm rings tomorrow. Do not wait until you have showered. Do not wait until you have had coffee. Do not wait until you have checked your phone. The first 30 seconds of Thursday morning, while you are still in the place where your night ended, are the location of the practice. Speak the 3 sentences out loud while you are still horizontal if you have to. The body posture is irrelevant. The presence is what matters. If you are listening on Thursday morning already, the practice is for now. You have not missed the window. The window is wherever you currently are in the day. Pause this video for a moment if you need to. Do the pre-dawn naming and come back. Or finish listening first and do the practice immediately after. Either order works. The practice does not require an empty room or a quiet hour. It requires 60 seconds of your full presence. If you are listening Thursday afternoon, you have arrived at the practice midday. The pre-dawn naming and the noon pivot can be combined into a single sequence. Take 3 minutes. Do them back to back. Name the day, even though the day is half over, because the second half of a kairos day is still kairos. Then ask the noon question. The order does not matter. The presence matters. If you are listening Thursday evening, you are arriving in time for the witness. The witness alone, even without the first two practices, is enough to receive what the day delivered. Take 15 minutes. Sit with the 3 questions out loud. Trust that the day's deposits, even though the chosen one was not consciously paying attention to them while they were being made, are still recoverable through honest witness. If you are listening Friday or later, the protocol does not expire. Use it on the next significant day in front of you. Kairos days are not rare events you have to wait for. They are placed throughout every chosen one's year, and the chosen one who has the protocol can use it on any of them. Thursday was the catalyst. The protocol is yours from now on. So, that is the full structure. 3 practices, 3 phases, 1 protocol that belongs to you for every kairos day going forward, not just this one. There is one more thing I have to say before this part of our walk together closes, and it is the thing I told you earlier in this hour. I would say, the thing where the Father wants to come through this voice one more time, not as performance, not as theatrical declaration, but as a settled commissioning before you walk into the actual hours of your Thursday. I do not claim this as God's exact speech. I am only the messenger. But I hear the Spirit saying these words to you, and the way I hear them is the way I am going to deliver them. If something in you receives them as truth, that is between you and the one who placed them on my heart for you. I hear the Spirit saying, "My child, the protocol I have placed in your hands is not the most important thing I have given you in this hour. The most important thing I have given you is the awareness of who you have been to me all along. I have been with you in every hour you assumed you were alone. I have been with you in the seasons you decided I had moved on. I have been with you in the prayers you stopped praying because you no longer believed they were being received, and the prayers you kept praying anyway because you did not know how to stop. I have heard all of them. I have kept all of them. The fact that you cannot trace my movement in your timeline does not mean I was not moving. It means I was moving more carefully than you could see. The day you are walking into is the result of that careful movement. I have been arranging Thursday from before you understood what arranging meant. I have been forming you for it from before you understood what formation was. The version of you that walks through the day with the protocol in her hands is the version of you I have been preparing since long before this week began. I am not sending you alone. I am sending you with what you have just received. Do not perform the day. Receive the day. Do not measure your worth by the visible outcomes. The visible outcomes are not the measurement. The presence is the measurement, and you are present. That is all I have ever asked of my chosen ones. Be present. Be there for the hour I have placed you in. The rest is mine. The hours ahead of you have my fingerprints on them. Every conversation that lasts longer than expected, mine. Every message that arrives unbidden, mine. Every quiet moment where you almost speak something and decide whether to, mine. Every small detail that seems out of place, mine. I have arranged the hours, and I have arranged you, and I am putting the two of you together in the way I always intended. So, walk into the morning. I will be there before you are. I have already gone ahead. Stay with that for a moment. Do not move. Let what just came through find the part of you it was actually spoken to. If you are ready to walk through this Thursday awake, if something in you just sealed itself around the commissioning, I want you to do one thing before the next stretch of this message lands. In the comments below this video, type the words, "I'm ready," just those two. as an act of agreement between your spirit and what was just placed in front of it. The words, "I'm ready," sealed underneath this message by your own hand before the closing arrives. Some of you will type it now, some of you will wait, some of you will not type it at all because the act still feels too exposed. All of those are honored. The Father is not measuring the comment count. He is watching the alignment that just happened in your interior. The typing is just the outer expression of an inner act that has already been received. What comes next is the close. The threshold of this message is in front of us, and the threshold has its own work. We have walked through the pre-dawn, the morning, the midday, the afternoon. What remains is the nightfall of this hour, and the nightfall is where the sealing happens. Listen now, child of the unseen lineage. What comes last is what stays longest. The hour of sealing is here, and there is one final word the Father has placed for you. The word that I told you near the beginning of this message would stay with you long after this video ends, and long after Thursday becomes Friday. That word is in the next stretch of this message. Stay close. The corridor is opening. The threshold is here. We are approaching the close. Before what comes next, let everything that has landed in this hour have the breath it needs. There is nothing else to receive in this moment. There is nothing else to release. There is only this stretch of time and your presence inside it, and the recognition that the work of the message has already been done in you. I have not given you a chance to multitask through any of this, and that has been on purpose. The chosen ones who walk through their kairos days awake are the ones who can stay with a single voice for an entire hour without their attention scattering. You have stayed. The fact of your staying all the way to this point tells me everything I need to know about who the Father has been forming you to be. So before the sealing arrives, before the closing of this hour begins to round itself out, let your shoulders fall, let your hands rest. Let the room around you be quiet, even if the room is not actually quiet. Whatever you have been carrying into this stretch, set it down for the next few minutes. The setting down does not have to be permanent. The setting down is just for now. There is one more piece of inner work I want to walk you through before the sealing begins, because the sealing lands deeper when the body of the chosen one has already crossed the threshold inside. The crossing inside is what makes the crossing outside real. Some of you are already feeling the crossing has begun. Some of you are still standing on the near side. Both are exactly where you need to be. Inside your mind, with no one watching, with nothing required of your body except the breath that is already happening, I want you to picture a doorway. The doorway is your Thursday. It does not have to be elaborate. It does not have to be ornate. It is a simple doorway, the kind you have walked through 1,000 times in your life without noticing. But this one is different. This one has weight. This one has been placed in your timeline by a hand you cannot see, and the weight of the doorway is the weight of every kairos hour that has been arranged behind it. On one side of the doorway is yesterday. On the other side is the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of the season. The kairos day was placed in your life to open. On the near side of the doorway, the side you are still standing on right now, is the version of you who walked into this hour without language for what was happening in her body this week. That version is not someone you have to leave behind in shame. That version is someone you can leave behind in tenderness. She did the work that got you to the doorway. She kept the watch. She held the post. She is the reason the chosen one who is about to step through can step through at all. Honor her before you cross. On the far side of the doorway is the chosen one who walks into Thursday awake, the one with the protocol, the one with the diagnosis, named, The one with the recognition that the years she thought were wasted were the years that built her legs. She is not a different person. She is the same person, recognized correctly, walking forward in alignment with what was always already true about her. The threshold between them is small. It is short. It is here. I want you to see yourself, in your mind, taking one step from the near side to the far side. Not a leap, not a dramatic crossing, one ordinary step, performed inside the imagination, in this moment, while you are sitting wherever you are sitting. This is not a regular visualization. This is a commissioning. The act of seeing yourself cross the doorway is the act of beginning the crossing in real time. The chosen ones who can take the step inside are the ones who can take it outside when the actual hours of Thursday come. The interior step is the rehearsal. The interior step is also, in the way that matters most, the step itself. Notice the weight settle into your spirit. Notice the stillness behind your eyes. Notice the room around you respond, in some small way you may not be able to name precisely, to the alignment that just happened inside you. The alignment is real. The alignment is what the rest of this message will rest on. Now, we begin the close. The chosen ones of every generation have ended their long hours of preparation with a sealing of some kind. Not because the sealing produces the day. The day was always going to happen. The sealing produces the chosen one's settled relationship with the day. Without the sealing, the message disperses. With the sealing, the message stays. What I am about to do is not performance. It is not theatrical. It is not the kind of closing that asks you to manufacture an emotional response. It is a quiet handing over of what was placed on my heart for you to receive, and the only thing you have to do for it to land is be present. The presence is the entire work. Some of you have walked through this hour with a quiet hum running underneath your attention, a hum that has been wondering whether everything you have been hearing actually belongs to you, or whether you have been borrowing language meant for someone else. I want to address that hum one last time, gently, before the sealing begins. The reason you are still here is not because the algorithm of attention happened to keep you in front of these words. The reason you are still here is because the part of you that knows how to recognize what belongs to her recognized, somewhere in this hour, that this voice was speaking to her specifically. You can argue with that recognition with your mind. You cannot argue with it in the place where it actually happened. The recognition has already occurred. The hum was protective. The hum can rest now. Let me speak the gratitude that begins this closing in the way that feels true to me, because the gratitude is the first movement of the sealing, and the first movement has to be real. I am grateful, in this hour, that the chosen ones who heard the warning early have shown up to the post. I am grateful that the kind of attention you have given to this message is the kind of attention almost no one gives to anything anymore. I am grateful for the years that made you capable of staying. I am grateful for the version of you, somewhere inside, that has been quietly hoping this hour would arrive, and is finally letting itself acknowledge that the hour is here. I am grateful for the watchman in you. The watchman did not ask for the post. The watchman has held it anyway. The watchman is the reason any of this is happening at all. And the watchman is the part of you that I want to address most directly in the moments before the sealing fully takes. There is a release that has to happen before the sealing can be received. Not a long release, not a dramatic one, just a deliberate setting down of one specific weight. I want you to picture, in your mind, a stone. The stone is at your feet. On the stone are written the things you have been carrying through this week without permission. the unanswered questions, the fatigue you could not name, the strange interior bracing that has not lifted, the sense that you should be doing more, or being more, or producing more in the face of a week that was asking something different of you than the production. The stone holds all of it. Now, with whatever attention you have, I want you to step over the stone. Not pick it up, not carry it across the threshold, not bring it with you into Thursday. Step over it. The stone stays on the near side of the doorway. The chosen one walks across without it. Some of you just felt something specific shift in your shoulders, even without doing anything physically. That shift is the release. The release is real. The release is what makes room for the ceiling to actually take. Now hear what comes next, because what comes next is the peak of this hour, and the peak only happens once. The chosen ones of every generation have been sealed by a declaration that named them in their full identity, and the declaration has always been spoken with conviction, but never with volume. Conviction does not require shouting. The deepest declarations are the quietest ones. The Father is going to speak through this voice in the next stretch, and what he speaks is the declaration that seals the chosen one for the day she is walking into. I am going to do this carefully. I am going to do this slowly. I do not claim what comes next as God's exact speech. What I claim is that I hear the Spirit saying these words to you in this hour, and I am going to deliver them on his behalf, the way a messenger has always delivered the words placed on his heart for the one being addressed. If something in you receives them as truth, that is between you and the one who placed them on my heart for you. I hear the Spirit saying, "You are the chosen one I prepared for this Thursday. You are the watchman I summoned to this hour. You are the threshold crosser I have always been forming." 3 sentences, spoken slowly, spoken with conviction, not volume. The kind of declaration that does not require any addition, because the addition would only weaken what was already complete. Now I want you to do something, not later, now, with your own voice, even if it is barely above a whisper, even if the room around you is full of other people, even if you have to mouth the words rather than say them out loud. I want you to receive the declaration into your own throat. The chosen one who has been spoken to by the Father is the chosen one who can speak it back in her own voice, in her own ears, in her own spirit. Say with me, in whatever voice your situation allows, I am the prepared one. I am the watchman. I am the threshold crosser. There, the declaration is sealed. The chosen one has spoken her own name back to the one who has always been calling her by it. The peak has happened. The peak does not need to be amplified. What comes after the peak is stillness. The chosen ones of every generation have known that the moment after the declaration is the moment when the sealing actually completes, and the sealing completes in silence, not in additional speech. So I am not going to say it is sealed yet. I am going to ask you to do something most messages do not ask. I am going to ask you to sit in the frequency of what just happened for 60 seconds before the sealing words are spoken. 60 seconds. Do not move. Do not reach for your phone. Do not check the time. Do not think about what you have to do next. Just stay. The Father is doing something during these 60 seconds that is not happening in any other part of this message. He is depositing the declaration into the part of you that will carry it through the actual hours of your Thursday. The deposit happens in stillness. The chosen ones who can hold the stillness are the ones who walk into the day with the declaration intact. The chosen ones who fill the stillness with the next thing lose part of what was just given. So, let me hold the silence for you. Now, if your spirit is ready with your own voice, I want you to whisper the closing words. Let them make the ceiling real over your Thursday. Whisper with me. It is sealed. The chosen one has been sealed. The day has been claimed. The threshold has been crossed. Inside the chosen one, before the actual hours of Thursday begin to deliver what they were placed in your timeline to deliver. What just happened in those 60 seconds was real. The frequency you sat in is now embedded in your nervous system. It will rise again throughout Thursday. When it rises, you will recognize it. When you recognize it, trust it. The frequency is not your imagination. The frequency is the residue of the declaration, doing exactly what declarations are supposed to do in chosen ones who can receive them. There is something I want you to know before this hour fully closes. You are not alone in this. Right now, all across the world, chosen ones are listening to this exact message and feeling the exact shift you are feeling. There is a network of light waking up around the world in this hour, and you are part of it. The chosen ones in every nation, in every language, in every time zone, who are walking into their own version of this Thursday, are doing it together, even though most of them will never meet each other. The network is real. You are not the only one who has been keeping this watch. That recognition matters because the chosen ones who try to walk through their kairos days alone often forget that the calling was never solitary. The post was assigned to many of you. The watch was kept by many of you. The day belongs to all of you. The network is what makes the corridor sustainable past the threshold. There is something I want to ask you to do, not as obligation, but as participation in the network. There is almost certainly someone who came to mind during this video. Someone who has been unusually quiet this week. Someone who has been carrying something they cannot articulate. Someone whose name floated up in your spirit while we were walking through this hour together. You may not know exactly why their name surfaced. You do not need to know. The Father uses chosen ones to deliver to other chosen ones the messages they have been silently asking for, and the moment you noticed the name was the moment the assignment was given to you. Send them this video before Thursday closes. Not because the channel needs the share, because they need the message. The way you reached this hour was through someone, somewhere in your life, who was paying enough attention to send you what you were quietly waiting for. The chain continues through you. The chosen ones who pass the message forward are the ones who keep the network of light functioning across generations. The act of sending is the act of being in the network. The network does not exist without it. You will know who to send it to. The name has already surfaced. Trust the surfacing. The forwarding is the smallest possible action with the largest possible reach, and it requires nothing of you except the recognition that you have already had. If what just happened in those 60 seconds resonated in any way, in any part of you, let your like be the agreement of your spirit before the rest of your day continues. Not a performance, not a routine. The agreement itself, expressed through the smallest possible signal that the chosen one has been sealed and the message has been received. The signal travels. The signal helps the message reach the next chosen one in the network who is waiting for exactly this hour. And below this video, in the comments, type the words, "It is done," as an act of confirmation, as the chosen one's own voice, in writing this time, declaring that the sealing has occurred. The words "it is done," sealed beneath this message, by your own hand, as the closing testimony of what was just spoken over your Thursday. Some of you will type it now, some of you will wait, some of you will not type it at all, because the act still feels too exposed. All three are honored. The Father is not measuring keystrokes. He is measuring the chosen one's settled relationship with what just happened in her interior, and the keystroke is just the outer expression of an act that has already been received in the place where it actually mattered. There is one more thing I want to say before this hour fully completes, because the chosen ones whose spirit was pulling toward the deeper restoration during the midday of this message deserve to know that the door has not closed. If your spirit is still calling, in this moment, in this stretch of stillness after the sealing, in the quiet that the declaration has left behind, the path is where I told you it was. The doors are below, in the description, in the pinned comment. The path your spirit is reaching for is the path that was placed for you. There is no rush. The threshold has been crossed inside you. The corridor will hold for the chosen ones who walk into the deeper restoration in their own time, by their own discernment. Become the child first, then receive the kingdom. The teacher said it 2,000 years ago, and the sequence is still the same. The chosen ones who walk into the kingdom awake are the ones who allowed themselves to be restored to who they always were before the world dimmed them. The doors are open for those whose spirit confirms. The doors are honored for those whose spirit waits. There is no wrong answer in this hour. If words like the ones in this message keep finding you in seasons exactly like this one, stay close to this space. There are more being prepared for the next chapter of your life, and the chosen ones in the network find each other again and again through messages that arrive at the right moment. The next message in your timeline is being formed. Stay where the formation can find you. What you experienced in this hour was not a video, it was a corridor. The corridor has a beginning and an end, and you have walked through both. What is on the other side of the corridor is your Thursday, your actual Thursday, with the protocol in your hands, with the diagnosis named, with the declaration sealed, with the recognition that you have been the chosen one all along, and the only thing that has ever been required of you was your willingness to accept that the calling was yours. You are not ending this hour as the same person who began it. You are ending this hour as the same person recognized correctly. That is the entire mechanism of how chosen ones get formed. The Father does not turn his children into someone different. He helps them recognize who they have been all along. The recognition is the formation. So, as the last words of this message arrive, I want you to picture one final image. The watchtower we began this hour at, in the pre-dawn light, is empty now. You have stepped down from the post. The post has done its work. The warning has been delivered. The chosen one has come down from the watch and stepped into the morning of the day she was watching for. The watchman becomes the witness. The witness walks through Thursday. Thursday becomes hers. That is the full arc, from watchman to witness to threshold crosser. The chosen one has walked the entire corridor. The Father has been with her at every turn. The day she was warned about is now the day she belongs to, fully prepared, fully present, fully the one she was always going to be, on the other side of the threshold. The hours ahead of you have my fingerprints on them. The phrase keeps returning, because the phrase is the final truth of this message. The hours ahead of you, every one of them, have been arranged. You walk into them not to perform them, but to receive them. The Father has been there before you. The chosen one is following him. the way chosen ones have always followed him, into days that were prepared in advance, by a hand that knew the shape of the morning long before the morning arrived. Walk gently, walk awake. Walk in the certainty that the corridor is open, the threshold is crossed, the declaration is sealed, and the chosen one inside you, the one who has been quietly waiting for an hour exactly like this one, is now fully present, fully ready, fully who she has always been. Thursday is yours. Walk into it.